Hey guys, welcome to another Anon Gremlin video, and we're starting this video off with my pack that I opened earlier. I opened a premium pack hoping I'd get something new to review, and then bam, I packed two ultra rares on this Easter Sunday, and they're both shotguns. You may have seen I always whinge that I'm never able to pack shotguns, and I packed two ultra rares in one. So obviously I got the Crusader and the Piranha there. We're going to go with the Crusader because it is Easter Sunday, so we'll go with a religious theme and we will review the Crusader, obviously because we had so many Christian and religious crusades, or I just decided to choose it over the Piranha for some reason. But anyway, let's go into the Crusader. So its damage is 401, rate of fire is 80, max clip size is 4, max ammo is 28, 44 accuracy and 35 weight. As per usual, I have no modifications or no skills invested in my character to improve it in any way, so without further ado, let's get on to gameplay and how it performs overall in game. So it was available in Mass Effect 3, and as per usual, we'll go back and highlight what it was like in Mass Effect 3 and compare a little bit. So it was a very accurate shotgun in Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. It is a very accurate gun in Andromeda despite what its stats say, and basically it was quite well liked in Mass Effect 3. I wouldn't say that it was overly a really hyped gun, but people who had the Disciple generally had no quibble with it. It was a fairly solid shotgun to use, especially if you compiled it with melee, etc. and you were quite close to your target and you were able to use its accuracy to your advantage, get off lots of headshots. So into Andromeda, and the first thing I'm going to mention, the most important thing, as said there, it is a gun with insane accuracy. Basically, you may see a clip in a minute that when there is an assembler in front of me, I go to shoot it using hipfire and I shoot through its legs. It has literally no bullet spread on it considering it's a shotgun. It is quite stark when you compare it to other shotguns. It's something you have to get used to. I found that it's so accurate that you have to have it pinpoint. You have to have your center aim dot within your little brackets, we call them that, your crosshairs, your scope, etc. You have to make sure that it's bang on the target. There will be no spread, so if you don't have that little circle, that dot on your target, you are not getting the hit, you're not getting any damage on that enemy. It is an extremely accurate gun, and this can be either a pro or a con. If you're good at using the accuracy to your advantage, you can get off lots of headshots, a lot of critical hits. When you're me and you're kind of running into enemies, you're quite close, often having to get high accuracy off on a target can be annoying because you're so close to them, enemies move quite quickly, and you end up having to kind of like spray and pray a lot of the time when you're close to an enemy, and it will not work using the Crusader. So whatever you do, stay away from putting accuracy mods on this gun. It is already amazing enough when it comes to accuracy, and that will be something that will either play to your advantage or something that you won't get along with when comparing it to other shotguns. Its damage overall is fine. I'm playing on silver, I should probably mention that, and I found its damage to be okay. I didn't find it to be much better than many other shotguns in the game, but I did find that I could use 3 or 4 bullets on a base enemy and end up killing them. So no way is it better than the other shotguns I reviewed, such as the Crusader and the Ruzad. Both of those had fairly similar damages to them and took a similar amount of bullets to take down an enemy. So that is damage overall. But when talking about damage, it's very stark to mention, just like any other shotgun, in Andromeda you're not going to be wanting to rely solely on the shotgun. You're going to use it as an introductory or a finisher weapon. You're going to use it to get down an enemy's health before you either melee them or use a skill on them, or to finish them off when they start running away after you've used your skill or your melee. You're not going to go in there and solely want to kill enemies with the shotgun because you will have a hard time. I don't have any solid examples of me doing this because I was just running around shooting a lot and not using my skills stupidly, and I didn't record gameplay of me doing that. But when I did play using it in conjunction with skills and melee, I found it to be a lot more of an effective weapon. And this is something you had to do in Mass Effect 3 as well. You had to kind of like take the rough with the smooth. You use the gun, you use its accuracy to your advantage, but when the scenario came where an enemy is moving a lot or you're really close to them, you use your melee to try and finish them off. It's really good in compilation with melee and something I would recommend. Its clip size is obviously fine if it's doing enough damage per clip to kill enemies. However, its reload time is a little bit on the slow side. It's not as bad as the Disciple and other uncommon shotguns, but for an ultra rare it does feel just a bit slow. Feels like sometimes you're leaving yourself vulnerable with the reload animation, and it's very disappointing. Its max ammo for me was a problem. I'm going to say that its max clip size is fine, obviously because it takes 3 or 4 shots to kill an enemy, but its max ammo I found to be quite annoying. I found myself running out of ammo very quickly. You only have 28 bullets, basically if you're using 4 bullets each, that's about 7 kills, and when you're using a shotgun you miss a few shots, especially with its accuracy. You want to try and get off a lot of enemies very quickly. You expect a shotgun to be packing a fairly solid punch and you're in the thick of the action, and then you find yourself running out of ammo. So definitely try and increase its max ammo if you must. That is one of the things that I recommend. I found myself running out of max ammo a lot just because I was often in the thick of the fight, always running up to enemies and kind of not going to my ammo boxes. Usually I'm very conscious of this and I do usually never run out of ammo, but with this gun I found myself running out of ammo even though I was visiting ammo box usually as consistently as I do with any other gun. So that's that. Moving on to weight, I think its weight's fine. It's nothing too substantial, but obviously you can modify that or just choose not to carry a second gun. You could easily, if you're using your skills and melee correctly, get off with just using this Crusader, so I wouldn't worry too much. So overall I'm going to argue the Crusader in Andromeda is an okay weapon if you're able to use it in conjunction with skills and melee, and you're able to use its high accuracy to your advantage and not muck up too many shots, and be able to aim well enough at close range, either from the hip or with a scope, to hit your enemies. Maybe you could try putting a scope mod on the gun. I'm not sure whether that would help or hinder. It might help some of you, and some of you might find it ridiculous having to use a scope at such close range to enemies. But if you do try and do that, do tell me how it feels. It's something I should have experimented with, but as I said, I want to review the gun without modifications. It's nowhere near as good as its Mass Effect 3 predecessor. I found its Mass Effect 3 predecessor to be a lot more clinical, a lot more fun to use. There were some issues with it in Mass Effect 3 where it was good if you were the host and a bit shit when you weren't the host, but overall in Andromeda it doesn't seem to pack as much of a punch, and the whole accuracy behind it doesn't seem as clinical as it was in Mass Effect 3. So overall I am fairly disappointed in the Crusader, just because I wouldn't pick it over any other uncommon weapon, uncommon shotgun especially, just because it seems to do the same amount of damage and has the same amount of reload time, etc. The only benefit to this is if you want a very accurate gun and you don't like bullet spread and stuff like that. So there we go, that concludes the review. I hope you've had a good Easter Sunday, and stay tuned for more reviews and etc. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day. Peace out.